New hot and iced Sunrise Batch Coffee from Dunkin'. A bright and balanced, full-bodied blend brewed so you can get summering from sunrise to sunset. And even after that, because that's when you can show off those string lights you hung in the backyard. Or rehung. Enjoy a medium, hot or iced Sunrise Batch Coffee for $2. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Exclusions apply.
You are now listening to The Reality Is. The Reality Is.
You would be the one to get canceled from college
radio.
Right.
So they canceled me, and then we went over to Fishbowl.
Yeah.
And then when we went to Fishbowl, that's when we came up with the name.
Yeah.
And that's when she started trying to like pretty much trademark and LLC everything. And she was like, you clearly like to do this. And at that time, that's when I used to check the listens every time. And I was like, how we only got 25 people listening?
Yeah.
Like, bro, do you know how discouraging that is to be putting out your best shit and you like...
That's why you just got to build it.
Yep.
Make sure you got your foundation good.
Process. Man.
Yep.
It's all about that.
Yeah,
man.
it was tough though, man. Especially, it's kind of like I was saying on that clip where I was like, when you see other people doing something, you like, yo, I know I'm better than this shit.
Yeah.
That's just like I told him yesterday when he was shooting. I was like, you just now starting out.
Yeah.
You're doing better than what Issa Rae did when she started out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As far as the quality of work.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like to even see what you're doing and where you're going, like.
But even to have the desire to want to do it at a certain level.
At a certain level.
I think a lot of times people, they want to do something and they just throw it together and they like, oh, well, I did it.
Yeah.
That's great, but...
Yeah.
Who gonna watch it?
I mean, because when you were like what we just did, it was a reshoot because we didn't like how the first one looked. Yeah, so it was one of them things where it's like, man, we can't just put anything out because Varnell has set the bar. Like we didn't have the luxury of saying, well, we could start from here and move there. It was like if we put Varnell out and then we do something less than that, then it's like we took a step back. You know, even though it's like we working with a whole different, cast and different group of people and we all kind of doing different roles, but it was still a standard that was set that we needed to either match. And I mean, even if it was a fall off, it could have been like a little increment of fall off, but it couldn't be like a whole drop off. We couldn't fall off a complete mountain and be like, oh, well, we'll figure it out from now.
Next time.
Yeah, like, no, we couldn't do that. And that was mostly on Rick, because I'm just like, well, we'll figure it out. But Rick was like, nah, man, we can't do that.
And see, you and that's why I say me and you are alike and her and Rich are alike. Yeah. We good now, Jeremy? All right, let's go. That was a perfect intro too to be able to use this before we go in. All right, we ready, Jeremy?
I might start. Get the dance up.
Go. I always hear him. Yeah, and he always be on it. That's why I say I'm looking forward to him doing that, going back live again.
Yeah, man.
And you got to get that bounce.
Tell me.
But 90s is all about the shoulder bounce. Yeah. And what they say, the look away, like that Carl Thomas look away.
And the grab, the air grab.
Ashley will love that because, Ashley's on that 90s shit. Yep. What's good, man? What episode is this? 314? Because I think we ended up on 312. So welcome to episode 314 of The Reality Is, where filtering becomes extinct. Again, we're still here in Chicago, Illinois. I got the homie Artesia in the building. Yeah. She's still in here with me. We got the homie, man. What is this nigga, like a Renaissance man? Yeah. Yeah, that's the good name for it. I mean, hey, bro, you done did clothing, you do cards, you do movies, you direct.
Army knife.
You know what I'm saying? But we got the homie Jason Gray here, man. How you doing, fam?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to finally get out here and start talking that talk again. Yeah, man. It's been a minute.
We in the hometown, man, Chicago. Last episode, we had Isaac Keys in, man. We appreciate you for doing the filming. When people see the video, think Hello Zumble, think Jason Gray, think whatever the fuck you want them to think, fam.
Whatever, man. Just don't call me lazy.
Hey, bro, they can't do that.
You know what? That's the name of the episode. Just don't call me lazy. That's perfect, fam.
Yeah, and I was in third grade. My teacher told my grandmother, like, he's a good student, but he lazy. And my grandmother was so offended by that. Yeah. And, it kind of stuck with me as I've gotten older. Just to keep working, man.
That was a perfect intro.
Call me anything.
People always say, how do y'all come up with the topics? authenticity.
Yeah.
Like whatever, like it's like when you say it and it sounds good, that's what we go with, bro. Because we used to try to figure out the episodes after the fact, and it's like, what can we do? What can we do? And it's like, at some point, something's going to be said that's going to put a staple into this episode, man. Yeah. So I wanted to bring you on this episode, bro. First of all, we're in Chicago because of you. You invited us out. Yeah. You've been working on a lot of projects, directing, shooting, behind the camera. But I wanted to ask the first question is like, what got you into this? What motivated you into wanting to make movies after doing so many other things? Having successes at those things.
I think it was a natural progression from, where we started. Yeah. We started doing the T-shirts, then we started doing trivia games, and I think that was like the next step. So 2019, the summer, I remember calling the guy who shot Varnell, and then, he had always like, we should work together, and I was just like, well, I'll write something and direct it if you shoot it. And I remember when he sent the first cut of Varnell over, I was like, okay, whatever. I was gone about it. But Martin Scorsese said, if you don't get physically sick from seeing that first draft, then you did something wrong. And then when it came out, I was like, damn, we did something here. Like, this may be something I may be able to do. Into. Yeah, and I remember me and Rick, we had a conversation because the people that we did it with, we don't talk to them, so it was just like, man, we got to do our own thing. Like, let's do this. We could do this. So the COVID thing hit, and it kind of gave me time to kind of learn the craft of how to do it. I still got a long way to go, but at its most basic level, I'm able to do it. I've never picked up a camera in my life. I never wrote a script. I never directed, but it's like I'm always eager to learn. I'm a learner, so it's like we got all this time on our hand. I can't travel no more, and then I kind of lost my excitement for the trivia games. I felt like I reached my peak of that, so it was just like, what's next? When, I didn't want to do it just for the money. I was never in it for the money. Like, we could have stuck with it, and we could just, I still do it. I got bills to pay, but, it's not my passion. I do it because I got to pay bills, but it was just like, I love building, and with film, it's a process. It is a process. And you get to see it unfold before your eyes.
When I saw the script, bro, when she sent, when Artesia sent me the email with the script, she was like, hey.
I was like, oh, I love official shit.
Yeah.
So when, when I got it, I was excited because he don't check no emails. So
he hit me like, what am I supposed to say? I'm like, nigga, just respond to the email, man.
So I looked at it because I got to give him the summarized version. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is dope. Like, now I'm not the on-screen type person. I try to stay in the shadows or whatever, but just even being a part of it in that aspect, I thought it was dope.
No, it's real. Like, we made this thing official. It's not like we calling up our guys and being like, hey, man, let's go shoot. Like, there's a pre-production, a production, a post-production. Rick, we got a casting agency. We got a first AD, like Shan, first AD. I believe in the people around
it's official.
Me. She never did first AD. I don't know if she been on set, but I know how she works. And she pays attention to detail. I'm not that detail oriented. And we had somebody who was doing it, a girl named Even. She's really good. But I was like, I want to see if Shan can do this. And she came in, and I knew she was emails, everything.
And even when we would have even known that.
You would not.
Nope. The way that she.
Even last night when we were there, bro, she was talking the whole time. Every time I would hear her be like, the name of the movie, scene 28. I didn't know if you wanted to say it yet.
No, that's fine.
Okay,
that's fine.
But when she would be like, strictly business, scene 28, cut, take 6, and it was like,
I didn't realize it was her at first, and then I saw her sing, and I was like, damn,
her voice is official.
As the day got, as we progressed through the day, as you could tell that she picked up, because I had to say something to her. I was like, when we were outside, she was kind of low with it. She kind of got a voice like her, where it's real kind of just smooth and professional. And I was like, you got to speak up, like, so we could hear you, especially when we doing the editing and stuff. You got to be able to hear that stuff. But even like I said, when we was progressing, just her communicating with me, because at first she just kind of, well, you only got 5 minutes left. I'm like, man, say it with your chest.
I think once you get to that point, that's what makes the difference. Because if she's like me, it's like you don't really want to overstep. You don't want to come in like, oh, okay. But once somebody tells you that, okay, like, it's fine.
own it.
That's what Richard had to do with me, bro, because he
Yeah.
was like, Jason brought you here to help him with the direct of looking at things that may and need to be changed. And like I told her, I said, I don't want to just be behind the camera telling him this, and that. He was like, but that's why he asked you to come out here.
Yeah.
But and you have to be that way because, like I've said, me and you are alike.
Yeah.
We have overbearing personalities sometimes to where it's like you don't want to feel like you're stepping on somebody's toes when you're just being yourself.
Yeah, that's,
Thank you for giving him a role because I've told him this all along. Like he's so fucking critical, it's ridiculous. Like in everyday life, but in something like this, he can excel at it.
Yeah, like I'm like that's like Rick said. That's what you were here for. Like I didn't care. Mine, you do like that's cool because I can't see everything because I'm still watching and trying to direct at the same time. So, because even when we did a film last month and I'm going through, because I'm editing it too, and I'm just going through it like, damn, I missed that. But that's because I didn't have anybody, another eye to be able to notice little small stuff.
And the eye that you trust and respect.
Yeah.
And it's just,
exactly.
And it's just like having him in today. Like we were even talking about finances yesterday and he was like, I could take care of that. And I was like, bro, don't even do the money. Like I came here for you. All I need you to do is bring the camera today and let's do whatever. We ain't got to talk no money.
I was just happy to get back on the plane, and I knew if he was gonna go for anything, it was gonna be some work.
Because she been asking me for a while, and I was like, I ain't getting out there. And then when you hit me,
I was
in
like,
January,
we going.
I was like, Jason hit me up, and then I was like, I still don't trust it just yet. And then when you hit me again, I was like, well, I don't want him to keep asking me.
Yeah, because you were supposed to do the last one. When we was talking, I could tell you had some apprehension, and I don't know if I'm really ready to get on the fly. I'm just like, hey, look, if you could do it, come through. But at some point, you got to come through, because you said you were saying you wanted to do the film stuff, or you wanted to get out there. So I was like, this is a perfect opportunity, and I don't look at it as when we trying to bring people on as like I'm trying to be the big boss or anything. It's like
you didn't even move like that.
You do what you do. You own it. Somebody may look at it and be like, "Man, who did that?" Go if somebody go do your thing. That's what it's about. And I think a lot of people they'll come on and probably think that that's what we be on, but it's never about that. It's about we see stuff in people and we want to see people go off and do their thing, man. That's what it's all about.
And you always got to have somebody that gives you the opportunity. That's why when I posted that picture yesterday, I was like, opportunities. Because oftentimes you wonder, like I tell her, I'm like, you tell me I'm good at critiquing things, but where am I going to get the opportunity to do that? Like a lot of times you got to have an agent or somebody that's doing the work for you, because where do you start if you want to be in this business without doing a certain thing? And I ain't the one to kiss ass. And like people be doing all of this shit to get it ahead. And it's like, I like the fact that you said, hey, this is what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to build it and buy it and build it myself. And it's literally the same thing that we've done with podcasts, to being media consultants, to having a podcast company, to doing these things. Like if it's something you want, at some point you just got to go get that shit.
Man, like I said, man, Rick especially, like we all about we create our own opportunities. Again, we could have went out there and was like, man, I hope somebody give us a chance to write a script or give us a chance to create a film. Nah, we gonna go take all our money and we gonna put it back. When I got that grant money for the stimulus package the first time, I took all the money, 15 G's, and bought all the equipment. We spent all the money doing reshoots. We lost all our money, trying to invest in this so we can learn and figure this out. And Rick probably gonna be mad that I'm gonna say this, but somebody who followed him on Facebook hit him yesterday and was like, in Sioux State, Kansas City, they doing stuff for like Hallmark, like short films, and they want us to shoot it potentially. Just potentially, but just the fact that somebody reached out and noticed based on some stuff that we've done and that we're doing, just shows that it was worth the investment at some point. And
sometimes you like me, bro, we both the same way. We be like, you gotta talk your shit, because when people reach out to us or say certain things about us with the podcast, we be like, what? Or like
you
even
guarantee, just like he did, you'd be like, oh, Arteezy ain't gonna like this, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
And that's what I'm saying. We do the same thing because it's like, even with Isaac, like I was like, can we talk about this nigga being on Power?
And at first that's what I thought.
It was like hesitant, but we just can't talk about what scenes and what's gonna happen. But like when we were able to even get him again, I'm like, we doing some shit.
Yeah.
And then there's certain people that reach out to us, certain businesses, or like even traveling here, being at this studio, having Jeremy in here engineering. Like, I think sometimes we do shit and we leave an impression on people to where people are like, I would love to work with him again.
Yeah.
Or it opens their minds up to the possibilities of what they could be doing.
Yeah. You know, but it also comes, it's some other things that come with that. You know, you work with people and, you know, they may feel intimidated by what you're doing, you know, and
I know
it's unfortunate.
Whiskey in here.
Yeah, man, no, it's unfortunate. You know, you really be out the kindness of your heart, like trying to, you know, build with people, and I think some people think that you're trying to take advantage of them, but I don't think people really realize that it was never about that. Like we was doing this before we even met you. You know what I'm saying? So. Why do you feel like we trying to take advantage of you? It's because I see something in you. And like you said, sometimes people just need more opportunity, or they need a playing ground to build whatever skills that they trying to do. Najee, you want to be an actor? Here go your playground. I know you're not going to be perfect.
He took that shit so serious.
He was reading scripts in between.
Dog, man.
And that's why he's there, though.
That's why he's here, man. Like I trust him to at least put in the effort.
Best effort.
Like, the best effort. When he did the last script, like he was really in character when he came on set, and it's just like, man, we learning, we building. We don't know everything, but we gonna build this thing and we gonna learn together. And
Martin Scorsese didn't know everything either.
No, nobody. You got to start somewhere. You know, and for the people to really take the stuff serious and come on set and take their time out of their day. That was a long ass day, bro. None of us is getting paid. We are tired.
We just
we're frustrated, but we trying to figure it out.
I was gonna ask from the director standpoint, how do you deal with your frustrations? Like, you know, maybe somebody is messing up some lines or not, you know, you having to go back over
the only time I get as frustrated is when I know the time is being wasted, is being cut. Like it's like, damn, because I still got to get these other angles. Because the only time I got frustrated at the kitchen scene.
I know you did.
I was like, come on, man, what is y'all? It's like, and then when I want to get more coverage and I can't get it, that's when, you know, I get frustrated. But I try not to, like, when you on some sets, people be frustrated, yelling at each other. But I always keep in the back of my mind, that's not who I am. And it's like, I know how to internalize it without it showing on set, because once my energy go down, it'll bring down everybody else. And then I don't want people feeling like, man, I gotta walk on eggshells
but you know
around
what?
me. Like I don't operate like that.
And I think that's what made yesterday dope too, because like I told Rich, I said, I like this shit, because Naj was like, you want to be on camera? I was like, nah, I'm good. I was like, people think I like being on camera, but I really stay away from it. I was like, but I love the art of the behind the scenes. So I don't know Saquon's last name.
Gatlin.
So Saquon Gatlin from Iowa. Shout out to him, man. But like, he was messing up on the kitchen scene. And again, I'm thankful that you and Rich let me speak, but I was like, he's messing up because he's trying to remember the scene that he's already executed. So I was like, just let him come around the corner, start that scene. I was like, plus Naj is trying to remember his role, plus his own shit, and it's confusing him. So I was like, and then Saquon was beating himself up. And I knew you got frustrated, which is understandable, because we now understand that time is money. Every fucking second, every shot, it matters. So I was massaging Saquon's shoulder. I'm like, bro, you good? I know you messing up. He's like, I got a lot of personal stuff. I said, bro, it's okay. And then by me talking to him and you not having to talk to him out of frustration, because it wouldn't have been frustration with him. It's what's happening. So if you have a mouthpiece saying the things that you don't have to say, and with Richard and John doing the lighting, it allows you not have to have octopus arms and do all these things. You can have your focus here, and everybody else can handle everything else without you having to deal with the frustration behind it.
Let me tell you something, man. Shout out to Saquon, man. You know, and he I'm sure he'll talk about it at some point. But we had a reading, Tuesday and Wednesday, and he didn't come to both of them. You know, and we found out, you know, he got in some stuff, you know, he went to jail, whatever. We was calling, he was going to voicemail, and he still showed up.
And he drove from
Iowa. He still came through, you know, and he was like, man, because if it was me, I would have understood why he couldn't come, you know, and he was like, man, I ain't gonna let y'all down like that, man. Y'all give me the opportunity. I want to be an actor, you know, and y'all give me the opportunity. And those are the type of people that I want to be around. And I told him, like, man, you forever got my respect. You good in my book. Anything we do, you gonna be one of the first people I call.
Yeah.
Because for you to, under those type of circumstances, especially what's going on in the world today, to still show up and try to get into another character, dealing with that stuff.
All that shit.
Yeah. Man, come on, man.
And that's why he came to me. Like, we ended up exchanging information, and at the end of the night, he was like, man, I really appreciate you talking to me. And honestly, I got a different vibe from him when we was doing the set outside. Because like I told Ortiz, I was like, he was just kind of, niggas will size you up before they really embrace you. Yeah. So it's kind of like a size up. And like when I went upstairs, I was like, I don't know if these guys are feeling me. Yeah. But as things went on, and I saw a point, which as men, we have to learn to subdue our egos. Yeah. Also, Jeremy, I know we have a time point. Let me know if we go over. We'll pay you unless somebody else is in here. Yeah. But okay. So he was. We were talking about how. He was basically just saying, hey man, thanks for coming to me, thanks for helping out, thanks for embracing and trying to help me through this. And he didn't get in detail, but he was just like, I had a shitty day, I got a lot of personal shit going on. And I just looked at him and I said, bro, we all fuck up. I said, I fucked up since I've been here. So I was like, we all fuck up. What you have to do is get past that and look at what's going on right now and know that nobody's mad. Even if it's frustration showing, it's not because of you. It's because the investment that's been put here. And he was like, I understand that. And I was like, that's all it is. Like, even when I've been mad, sometimes Artesia would be like, I'll have to come back to her and be like, hey, we didn't execute this on the show. And I'll tell her, I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad that we didn't get this done within this time frame, or you didn't say what you said this way on mic.
And I mean, me and Rick, we had those conversations where I'd be, frustrated about something, and I think sometimes he might think that I'm mad at him, but I'm just more so like, damn, why didn't we think that? Why didn't we do it like that? But
it's hard not to take it personal when you are as invested and you want everything to go. Like,
no, that's a that's a fact, because even I was telling him like, because this was before I knew you were coming for sure. I was like, man, I'm gonna need you to be in front of the camera helping them, and I could tell he kind of took it a certain way, but I was like, I wasn't taking a shot at anybody else, but I might need you to do that because I'm not gonna be able to see it because I'm doing something XYZ. Else. And he was like, man, we probably gonna have to get somebody else. I was like, man, I told Ant, he gonna let me know, and if he can come, then maybe he'll be able to point that stuff out. And I mean, ultimately everything worked out. But
I want to talk to people a little bit, pivot a second, and she'll know where I'm going. We got into it, fam. And I don't think we've ever talked about it, like how we got back on track. And I remember some time had passed, and I like I always say, everything that you want to do in a crib to space, it costs money. So sometimes you got to say, hey, I'm not going to get paid for doing this, but I love the creativity of a project, so I'm willing to do something without a payment. And I remember it was a point where we went in a little drought as far as creativity, or I went in a drought, and I was like, hey, I ain't creating, I'm not doing the things I want to do. And I was like, I remember telling, I was like, I want to reach out to Jason, but I was like, how do I reach out to this nigga? Because I was like, when we got into it, I was like, I said some shit. And I know he felt the way.
Brody motherfucker.
And I said, I know he felt the way. I was like, because like I told him, we're the same. And then I went back and I listened to an episode where we talked about it. Then I listened to an episode where I even had an underlining message for him where I was like, I don't fuck with Bobby Brown no more. You remember that episode? And I was just like, yo. And even when I went back and listened to that shit, I was just like, man, I'm tripping. And like I said on the episode with Isaac, it's like, I think for me, what brought me back to you, bro, was I realized the loss. I realized the loss in the friendship. Fuck the creative space. Like, we, over a short period of time, we had gotten close. And I respected what you were doing. And for me, it was like, I showed this guy a lot of respect when we talked. And then I disrespected him. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I was just like, okay, bro, if you gonna grow in life, you gotta subdue this ego. And if you're gonna be Brody enough to say the shit to people, you have to be mature enough to apologize when you do get the shit wrong.
And I think that was like, for me, that was a big moment, like seeing him have that and come full circle. But especially as his partner, because it's like, okay, I'm invested in this too. Like, I want to see this work. But you start thinking like, how is this shit gonna work if he's always turning it down? Everything every opportunity that we get, in a sense. So
man. I remember the day vividly.
Nigga, I didn't want to reach out to you either.
I woke up the next morning, had a voice memo.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm like, oh, shit. You know, because, I mean, just knowing you and
you don't know what to expect.
And hear you talk about, you know, you ain't really with all of that rah-rah, I'm apologize. It's just like, well, fuck these niggas, you know. And, you know, I mean, and I understood that. But to see that, you know, I'm like, oh, shit. And I mean, I don't think I responded until the next day because I saw it in the middle of the night.
Hey, can I tell you what I did before you did? I said, this nigga didn't even respond. I shouldn't have did this shit.
Oh, yeah. And I'm just like, I'm going to hit him the next morning. But, you know, but yeah, man, I think a lot of the time, man, I'm ultra receptive to, you know, having a conversation when, you know, when I fall out with people or whatever. It may not go any further from that because I know for me, I don't never go into a situation to do anybody harm or, you know, to make people feel a certain way. It's just, I understand things happen. I understand that sometimes we not gonna get along, and this goes for anybody that I've ever worked with. I tell them there's gonna be a time where we're not gonna agree,
at some point.
And everything is not gonna be popping like that
at all.
But we got to be able to move past that.
Exactly.
I'm gonna give you a prime example. You know, Najee damn near fucked up our '90s R&B karaoke thing. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy. He almost fucked everything up, and you know, and you know, there was some tension there a little bit, but I was never gonna disown him because he made a mistake. You know, it's just like we built it, we'll figure it out, and ultimately we straight to the moon after all of that stuff.
And we kind of put him in a position when we were at odds, bro.
Yeah, we did. We had him in the middle of it,
and I was like watching,
she told me
like,
that.
Yeah, you see what you did.
And when I was thinking, I was like, we put Najee in a bad position because I think when I came out there, he still took me on, but like I told her, I said, he knows. Because I didn't tell Najee. Yeah. And I knew you met him before, so he was I said, I know his loyalties lie to Jason, and I understand that. Yeah. I said, but I put him in a peculiar position, man, and I said, and that's when I didn't tell her, but in my mind I was like, I gotta fix this. Yeah. It's kind of like when you have a breakup, it don't just affect the two people. It affects the people around you. Yeah. So for me, it was like when I sent you that message, like I talked to her about it, and she was like, I think you should do it. Yeah. And she was like, he didn't do anything. She was like, yeah, he may have came at you in a way that you didn't, whatever. She was like, but you let it get personal. Yeah. And I did. Yeah. And that's why I say when I left you the message, and then when I didn't hear back from you, I was just like, I literally teared her up after 3 hours. I was like, this nigga has not responded.
You did your part. That's
all she kept telling me. And I was like, you know what? You're right. At least he knows how I feel to where at whatever point he decides, if he decides to speak to me again, he'll know where I stand.
And you can't control what the response is going to be either.
Nah, man.
But when you hit me back too, you hit me back with love and respect. And when you hit me back, like I told her, I was like, okay, I felt better because I was like, damn, this nigga could have been like, fuck me. And then in my mind, I was like, how would I even would have responded if they was the other way around? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I probably would have took a day to myself too, because it's like, I need to make sure that what I say is sincere. Yeah. And I need to make sure if this is what I want to do at all.
Yeah. Like I said, the only reason is because I was asleep. Yeah. You know, and I was just like, I'll respond in the morning, but yeah, man, it was like I said, it was a real full circle moment, and again, it just made me realize that, man, you can have disagreements, and then you just patch it up. You figure if you see, because my biggest issue with it is when people be like, man, we guys, we supposed to be bros, we friends, but then one thing happened and now it's like, was we ever really cool like that? Bro. You know, and you know, again, like me and Rick, like we don't operate like that. Like I never come from a place of jealousy. You doing something, I see you. I show love. Yeah. We always show love. We very inclusive in everything that we do.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And like we sometimes feel like, and this is a transparent moment for me, you know, the opportunities that we willing to give people, we don't think people willing to give it to us.
And we talked about that last night.
And I'm like, y'all don't see, you know, in us what we seeing, y'all. Like, don't nobody just call me and be like, yo, you know, like how you say, come do this. You know, like people don't do that for us. It's like, it's always
but remember what I told you last night. We get the same thing. Yeah. And what I told you last night, and it kind of like a light bulb, I saw it go off in your head. I was like, because you're such a powerhouse on your own, people feel like you don't need any help.
That's perception, though.
It is a perception. But it's up to us to say that shit.
Yeah, like that's perception. So I give you a prime example. when people used to hear us talk about the games and be like, damn, y'all making millions or y'all made whatever the case may be. I don't have $1 million. Like that money goes back into business. And most of that shit I'm losing or I've lost the money. Like it's not like I'm not spending it on cars or anything. But people, all they hear is millions. Like somebody, you know, that we would work with be like, hey man, I need $30,000. Like, do you think I got $30,000 just sitting around to give to you to, you know, do something if I had it and we was cool like that? Okay, maybe I consider it. But yeah, like it's just a perception thing, and I can't control your perception of what you think of what we got going on.
And they just put out an American statistic. They said that 70% of Americans barely have $1,000 or don't have $1,000 in their bank account. And I was like, damn. But and like you say, people don't understand that. Well, first of all, too, if you're not like famous or rich or playing sports, like the average age for niggas to really just kind of streamline and start being financially okay is 40 plus. Yeah.
So it's like we still out here grinding. You know, trying to put this stuff together. And, you know, honestly, recently it's for the first time that I'm like, what we doing now, I could see a light at the end of the tunnel, you know, but, you know, what we going into a whole new field of doing something. Again, you know, we was at the peak of the trivia game. Now, it's so many now. When we came out, it was maybe like 4. You know, now it's like 104. You know.
And with you being an originator, people peel. They peel off layers of your shit.
When I see a lot of these games, I see like people creating games based on questions that they probably seen in one of our games.
And the color coding is the same.
And probably looked at it and was like, damn, we could do a better version of this, which I respect because I do that shit all the time. Like, oh, damn, I could do a better version of that. You know, and even with that, you know, people, they be having these little, you know, symposiums and shit with the trivia games, and people never hit us up, you know. But that's more so because, again, we kind of be in our own world. We don't really be into all the little politics and
the
stuff.
lanes
and
is
being
different.
able to stay ahead of the curve is what sets you apart. So anybody can come behind you and be like, oh, I got this, but they have to wait on your next move.
Exactly.
To be able to dictate theirs. That's how it is with the podcast, man. Like a lot of times, I know that a lot of topics that we talk about, I know when somebody takes my shit. You know why?
Try to frame it in a different way.
Because when people say, how did you, like we got asked last night, what is the podcast about? And I always tell people, my life. Like that's literally what the fuck it is. I have co-host and guests, but it's about my life experiences and how I want to, it's kind of like Seinfeld. It's a show about nothing. We come in this bitch every day. We don't have no notes today. It's just like, what do I feel? What are we going to discuss? And we move off that. So when somebody talks about something that I have discussed, I'm kind of like, where you get that from? I know where you got it from because nobody's
reaching.
Because
they had to research it as opposed to it coming naturally.
And it's a cliff note for us, and they make it their whole show. You see what I'm saying? So, bro,
man, I mean, I pay attention. You know, I see everything, but again, you got to know when to pivot, man. And
you do.
That's one thing, you know, that we've all been accustomed to understanding, like when do we pivot, you know? So it was like, again, a natural progression would be going from that into media, you know? So even a recent trivia game, I'm like, okay, I see what everybody else is doing. They doing our old stuff. So how can I turn some of my old stuff and put a spin on it and make it new? You know what I'm getting? So I'll give you an example. And again, people reach out to me, man, I need help. Like I give people like this, you want to learn how to make a trivia game, this is where you go.
That's how you do it.
Because I'm not in it because, you know, like I'm jealous or I'm thinking somebody gonna
masterclass.
People been saying like, why don't you do that? And I mean, I could, but it's just like, man, I give the free game because again, I'm secure in what I do.
What you doing?
You know, I'm passionate. You know, I work hard. I'm driven enough to where I don't need to be like feel threatened by what anybody else is doing. You know, so like the people come out with these like the opinion based games. It's 4 questions. I'm like, how can I flip this? So the truth, the trivia game, like, okay, it only got 2, you know, opinion-based questions instead of 4, you know, because I'm like, I got to do something different. Not everybody trying to flood. That's just an example of how you can look at something. Because I heard this podcast, this guy, he was saying people love stuff they familiar with, but with a novelty factor, because people don't like going totally out of their comfort zone. You know, so it's just like, we created these trivia games. We turned TV shows into trivia games.
Yeah.
People know the shows, but they don't know them as trivia, or they didn't know them as trivia games. So that,
and they don't know what they think they know when you put them out. Because when you did the Martin trivia, I remember I was looking and I was like, one of them was like, what was Martin's apartment number? And I'm like, I saw a 2 or a 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's one of those things where I know for me, everybody was like, probably thought it was going to be Martin lines.
Yeah.
To where everybody can remember that. But it's like, okay, but how many times was here? Or who was this actor? Or who was this person?
Had to step my game up. When you bring my name up, they gon' say I came up. They gon' say I changed.
The goal is where you're at your age is for him to be that 10 years earlier.
Exactly, yeah, because again, everything because we taking the long route. Everything that we do, we got to take the long route. Like, I got to sit here and learn everything from scratch. Nobody is teaching none of us nothing.
Nope.
You know, and I think people don't really realize that we all learning on the job because we didn't have that advantage of, you know, having our moms because maybe they was off working or a dad. Like, I didn't grow up with my dad. I don't even know him, you know, and I didn't have nobody to teach me nothing. So it's like, I gotta go on the learning curve just so he could see me. Maybe he could come on set when, you know, stuff get bigger and be like, damn,
but ain't that crazy?
This is what I want to do.
We do what we want to do. Our parents did what they had to do.
Yeah.
That's literally, and like, we do it by any means necessary. Even if that means, like, I tell her all the time, I'm like, I got my degrees.
Yeah.
But like, I'm still like, I'm cool with making this amount of money. I want more.
Yeah.
But because it affords me to do the things that I want to do and build a name for myself, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And no offense to the white people out there, but honestly, we don't want to work for white people our whole lives. Giving all your best years to a person who doesn't even understand or appreciate what you are.
Yeah.
Now, I did post a post the other day and I said, I said, white people outside of Texas is different.
Yeah.
We had an Uber ride over here and the guy was white and I didn't know whether to talk. We didn't know whether to whatever. And I don't know what sparked the conversation, but he ended up speaking to us and he was like, yeah, my daughter, she's married to a Hawaiian guy and my other daughter or whoever is married to somebody black. And he was just saying how his family tree is so diverse. Yeah. And I was like, in Texas, it's black folks, Mexicans, and white folks. Yeah. That's it. Damn. And white people don't like blacks and they don't give a fuck about Mexicans. And the Mexicans think they white and don't like white people and they don't care about black people. And it's just like every man for his fucking self. And then you have the black people that are trying to assimilate and then they don't really care for a different level of black. And it's like, it's just too fucking much, bro. And it's so click. So we love traveling because traveling opens the mind. You are an ignorant motherfucker if you see a white person. You're like, I hate all white people. All of them are not the same.
Right. No.
There's
like
a level
all black
of
people are not
exactly, and there's a
Yeah.
level or a class of white people that don't care about another class because they're fucking it up for them. And I always tell black people, when you label a white person, how hard? Think about it. Play devil's advocate for a minute. Think about being that white person who loves everybody and the culture of everything. But when a white killer, like these white men is killing Asian people, or when you do, and then it's like every race of person looks at a white person like, ugh, you whatever. And it's like, but I'm not that person. Then they have to explain themselves. Bro, we can't keep doing this shit, man.
That's why I even monitor what I watch now, because it's like, especially with black people, and you see so many crimes against black people, you can't help but sometimes feel a certain way. So it's like I have to monitor how much I take in because I don't want to go to work and treat the people that I know are not like that a different way.
Because I'll give them the cold shoulder when you're feeling that way, man.
I mean, but even with that, like, so with John, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all talk about we building, you know, this stuff, and you wanted to have all, you know, everybody working there is black. But the sound, I mean, our light guy, he's a white guy.
But how hypocritical is that too?
But let me just tell you how stuff work. You know, so the blind date when we did the guys that did it, the light and stuff, it was a black guy. You know, and this is what bothers me about people. So when we did our last shoot, the guy who did the light, he sends me a DM, you know, and he was like, they don't, because I had somebody posted it, maybe I posted a boomerang with the setup of the lights and a scene, and he sends me a DM saying, oh, that's because they don't know what they doing. But then I come to find out he was trying to send it to somebody else, and he was trying to send it to the guy that was doing the camera work for the blind date, you know, and then I'm just thinking like, why, like, what are y'all even talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, would John would be on set, like the last two shoots, he was on set reading, lighting books. Like he trying to, like, I'm like, we all trying to figure this out. But I'm like, well, I mean, what's that about?
Yeah.
You know, but again, I was told Rick, and Rick was going to say something, you know, and I was like, I was going to say something too, but it didn't dawn on me. Because I was going to say something then, but we was on set, you know, but I'm just like, you know, sometimes you might have to break out of that thought process, even if it's just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. And I'm just like, you know I'd be like, damn, man, it's only gonna be only black people that work. But I like John, though. Like, I really like him.
I fuck with him. I posted that video of him yesterday, man. Like, he was a real dude. When I left, I gave him a pound just like I gave everybody else. He was real down to earth. He was modest. He was about his business. And, like, when Rick was telling me, like, I was telling Rick about certain things, I think that scene on the couch. I said, okay, when the other girl goes and sit down, because she's darker than the guy, the darkness is going to absorb that light, and it's going to bounce off the light-skinned girl.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't say shit to John. John just went in there and he saw it. As soon as the girl sat down, he adjusted it. Sometimes we have a preconceived notion that white people don't know everything about black people. They don't. But there's certain things, if you are true to the craft, you will learn what you need to learn for that type of person.
He's about that craft. Like, he's about that. And I just, you know, I got to the point to where after working with him, you know, in the last 3 shoots, I'm just like, anytime we do a shoot, I want him to be. Of course I could be like, well, we gotta go find, but I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. The last 2 black people that we worked with, they ain't no shit either.
Nigga,
you know
I'm telling you, I
but
felt
they
the
feel
same thing.
entitled because they are black.
And they felt like because they was doing it more and we just started that we don't know shit either, you know, so they feel like they can hold that against us, and it's just like, man, look, just come do your job and go on. You want to have side conversations about stuff which is corny in the first place. Because I'm thinking like, damn, the film we did together, you know, it got selected for the LA Independent Film Festival. You know, and it's just like, damn, where's the love at? You know what I'm saying? But I guess they might, like, again, they felt the way because we didn't call them back to do the other ones. But that's because, shit, I'm behind the camera now, you know, and I don't know. No, Rick said he didn't call him back because he take too long to respond. Like, well, come on, I mean,
How
what's
you
up?
do your business.
You know what?
We about our business.
Not only, and I got to give a shout out to your brother too, because I was telling a guy last night, like, I told her, I said, we got to start owning the shit that we're good at. When Rich reached out to me about doing the visual audio stuff for Kendrick Perkins, like, when he hit me up, I was like, yo, this shit is major. I only did it for a short period of time. But like I told her, I did it. And then I was so nervous the first thing I put together for him to send over to Kendrick and them. And I was just like, what if they don't like it? And then when he sent me back the screenshot, it was like, yo, I like it. This is fire, blah, 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 blah. And I even told her, I said, this ain't even my best work. Like, I was like, I'm still, because we're working at a disadvantage of having a machine behind us. So it's like, what we're doing, we're giving the best that we can give at this point in time. I tell her all the time, like, I don't care to be behind the camera to do what you do, but I would love to continue doing what I was doing yesterday, talking up the staff, make sure everybody's good, whatever. Because if you don't have a momentum or a mentality or a good vibe on set, you ain't got shit.
And that was one of the things, like, I used to hear stories of people saying, man, being on that set was stressful, man. People yelling at each other. When we did the first, so we had to do a reshoot of The Blind Date too. You know what I'm saying? We did that, and the guy who was doing the light, he was like yelling at the grips, the people that was, I'm just like, that's how people operate. And then somebody pulled me to the side and said, man, when people be on these sets, people really walk on eggshells. They be scared of the director and the people around them. People be scared to mess up, to be scared to voice their opinions. And it was one of them things where I was like, okay, we never gonna be like that. Even when we first started doing business, the customer service was a big thing, because I would see people in comments asking about products and people not responding to it. And I was like, we never gonna be like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, we kind of just brought that over to this. You come on set, man, just do what you do, but you could still have a good time.
For sure.
I don't care. Just do what you're supposed to do. When this squad on set, just be quiet. You know what I'm saying? When action, let them do their thing. And that's, you know, we try to bring all of that, you know, all of that together. So,
all right, before we wrap it up, I did want to say, when he was talking about on the set, when you tapped me, I literally forgot that shit.
I forgot.
And I ain't smoked either.
Damn.
That's all it takes.
Fuck. He was talking about be quiet on set. Overall, I just want to say I'm proud of you, man. At the end of the day, I'm proud of you. That's what it was. about responding to everybody. When people hit us in the DMs, they'll hit us with messages asking questions to be posed on the podcast, and they'll be like, hey, they'll start off by, hey, I love the show, blah, 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 blah. I know you're probably not going to respond or read this.
They think you know.
And I make sure when I see those, those are the ones I respond to, man.
You got to build that foundation, because those people are going to be the lifeline of your business. Yeah. The people that you had that direct, interaction with and connection with, those are going to be the people that when you think you on your last and you got to put something out, you need some people to support you. Like, we'll disappear for months at a time and then come out and put some trivia games out. I know it's people, because I talk to these people damn near every day. Yeah. These are people that support us because we built, a foundation. We built our lifeline of supporters. Yeah, a group of supporters. Yeah. And whoever see it and come along on the ride, cool. But you got to build those. Them people that send you DMs, talk to them, let them know. But
before we get out, do you got a song you want us to go out to? Or what was that other song you talked about? And the reason we're playing 90s, man, if you don't know, Jason does a lot of 90s R&B and trivia.
That's my joint.
He does the Instagram lives. They do once the world opens back up, I know they'll start doing it at the Barclays Center in New York. So keep in touch with all that. Give them your tag on Instagram, man, so they can follow you.
Hello Zumble. Zumble. Zumble.
All right, man.
That's where I'm at.
All right, well, you got something?
I thought we were going out with the same song.
We can go out.
Can we talk?
On time like
This will still be fine.
Look. Niggas dying from corona while I'm living on coronas. They been living for attention, they been dying for diplomas. My persona and aroma could've told ya I don't give a shit. Signed a bigger contract so I could talk some bigger shit. Police pull you over, they be tryna give a nigga shit. I be such a gentleman, they came to see some nigga shit. She just wanna cut, I wanna cut as in a bigger.
But labels bring about expectation. And that may be the name of the podcast. Labels bring about expectation. The reason I say this is because, I know when me and were dating, and we dated for like a year, and when they started getting to a point where a lot of people were like, yo, so when are y'all gonna make this official? When are y'all gonna do this? And me and her would talk about it, and like I told her, I said, a lot of people don't know who they are. I know who I am. And I told her, I said, as we're dating, that's cool. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We have sex. If we don't, we don't. I can get it from somewhere else. But if we get in a relationship and I take everything off the shelf and I'm focused on you, those expectations have changed, because I'm not looking for sex or intimacy from multiple people now. This is your job.
Yeah, this is
if
all
you took
you
me
now.
off the motherfucking shelf, this is all you now.
Yeah.
Streaming only on Peacock.
John Wayne Gacy killed 32.
Straight from the killer's mouth.
They want you to believe that I alone committed these murders.
The new gripping 6-part documentary series, John Wayne Gacy, Devil in Disguise. All episodes streaming now, only on Peacock.
At Zenni, we believe everyone deserves access to high-quality, affordable eyewear. That's why we offer stylish prescription glasses for men, women, and kids starting at just $6.95. Our online factory direct model cuts out the middlemen, so you save. At Zenni, you get the same quality frame and lens options that you'd get from an optician for 1/10 of the price, including blue blockers, progressives, prescription sunglasses, and more. The best part? Try on any frame, anywhere with our 3D virtual try-on. Zenni.com. Eyewear for everyone.